We are live.
Already?
That's right.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom
Shabbat shalom.
to everybody. Welcome again to First Yahudin Messianic Temple here in Lake Placid, Florida. I am his servant, Maria Simpson, and it is so great to be with all of you again. We haven't had service for about 2 weeks, and it's just because my mom actually was in the hospital and she passed away, and I want to thank everybody that prayed, everybody that really supported us, and it was awesome. It's she's going to be missed very terribly. It's not a nice thing when somebody you love, you care for, that leaves, but it's part of life. To live is to die, and to die is to live. And even though it's only been, actually my mom only died a week ago, and honestly and truly, it's she'll be missed, and she's very much loved. And this is why this message I had for the last 2 weeks, and its title, "No Trespassing." This means you, and it really is nothing personal against anybody. It's really that you need to protect your life. Can you please turn that light off in the kitchen? Thank you. You need to protect yourself, and really we need to come and need to wake up and take control of your life. This is what this message is all about: taking control of your life. It's bad enough that we live in this world, and we have many beautiful memories, many gorgeous and beautiful memories, but we also have bad ones. And in order for us to really be able to continue in life, we have to have boundaries. You need to put a hedge of protection around your life, around your home, around anything that belongs to you, especially your mind and your heart. Boundaries are very important in your life. This is what this message is really all about. William Shakespeare said, "It is not the stars to hold our destiny, but it is in ourselves." You hold the destiny of yourself. How often do you end a day, a meeting, and perhaps a glance up at the clock and wonder, where did time go by? Have you ever asked yourself that question? I think we all have, haven't we? None of us wants to waste time. But if you don't actively, intentionally take control of your life, time will leak away from you in small increments throughout the day. And days become weeks, and weeks become months, and months become years. And then you end up, just like all of us at one time in another in our lives, where did time go by? Chuck Palahniuk, he said, "This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time." Life is not a game. Life is not a storytelling. Life is not a win or lose situation. Life is real. It's the real deal, and it's the most precious gift that the Creator has given us. Do you all agree with me?
Amen. Amen.
Then why do you allow people to control your life? Why do you allow circumstances to take over you? You are the creator of your life. You were given gifts from the Most High. Gifts so we can live in this world. And so we can overcome things in this world. So we can enjoy this world. So we can enjoy the beauty. But you will always have people that are close to you that want to make your life miserable, unhappy. Do you remember the movie Misery?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is what people that really don't care for you, they want to control your life. And by you submitting to their stupidity, to their ignorance, to their lifestyle, to their beliefs, to whatever it is, then what happens is you become a slave. You become their puppet. You become their house animal. And this is where we need to wake up and smell the life, and smell the coffee, and smell the Ruach HaKodesh, and smell what He is giving you. He's giving you life.
Amen.
If you are constantly complaining about something or someone in your life, don't you agree that it's time for you to wake up and put a hedge of protection around your life? Mm-hmm. Today is the first day for the rest of your life. Listen, today is your jubilee.
Amen.
Today is your resurrection life. Today is your new beginning. The reason you are here, the reason you're seeing this message, the reason you're looking at hearing this message is because this is for you.
Amen.
Do not abuse your life. Don't take it for granted. For it is the only life that we have while living in this world. And I got news for you. You are not alone. This morning I was talking to my husband, and we were talking about everything that has gone. You know, it's a lot of revelation, with the experience with my mother and the hospital, and then other things and family members. A lot of things are being exposed. And I said to him this morning, you know what the problem is? The people are not listening to him. Because He is not only in the Bible, He is not only in heaven, He is not only inside of us, He is everywhere. He is, when a bird sings, He is trying to tell us something. When a dog barks, when a river is flowing, when the wind is going from one direction when the leaves are moving because the wind is hitting it, He is speaking to us. But the thing is that we need to be quiet and listen to our heart and hear what is being said. We're so used to worrying about problems and why did he did this and why did she do that, and we look at what they done and this and that, and that we want answers, but we need to slow down, wake up, smell the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, and listen to what He's telling us, because He's got the answer to everything. Do you all agree with me? There's somebody in your life that you need to walk away very quickly from. And it could be one person, it could be three. But you need to walk away, and you need to put a hedge of protection. Because this has been the jujube in your life. What's the jujube?
Of course.
Things that were not good in your life. You need to get rid of the jujube person in your life, or people. Not getting rid of them that you're going to throw them out the window and say, okay, why don't you fly like a bird? Walk away and let it go. You were not meant to be anybody's slaves. But you have been maybe emotionally abused so much, physically and maybe mentally, that you haven't even recognized what this person or people or circumstances have done to you. Protect yourself, protect your life, protect your mind, protect your heart, protect yourself. Because misery loves company. And how many of you really would love to be in the company of people that are miserable? See, everybody says no. So why don't you put a hashtag protection and says no trespass? This means you. Let me give you the good news. You want me to tell you the good news?
Yes.
Yep.
This is exactly, and it's very simple. And we should not complicate it. Don't worry. Be happy, for this too will pass. Why do I say this? My mom died a week ago. My mom was worried about bills. She was worried about the house. She was worried about this. She was worried about that. And in reality, is she was in a box. She left here in a box. Whatever she had on, she left with her, which means she didn't took nothing with her. Every pain, everything that she felt in this lifestyle, she didn't even take with her. Because we don't take nothing with us. We come empty. And we leave empty. Because where we come from, we cannot bring anything from there. And where we're going, we cannot take anything from here. So why are you worried? Why is this person and these people tormenting you? They're not tormenting you. You are the one that are allowing this. Because you don't know how to set boundaries. Boundaries. Fence is a protection, just like a fence that you put around the house. And the sad thing is, when you put a fence around the house, you're always going to get snakes in the grass that's going to crawl. Okay? But let me tell you, with those snakes in the grass, when they crawl, you take an axe, and when you see this one and see that one, you cut their heads off.
Or put mothballs.
Or put mothballs. They'll leave real fast. It's your life. Take control. Take it back. It belongs to you. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love yourself even when you risk disappointing others. We cannot base our own worthiness on others' approval, and that is the problem that is happening. Many of us want so much approval. I used to be like this in my life. I will go out of my way to be approved by my mother, approved by my family members, approved by teachers. I wanted to be approved because I wasn't when I was a little girl. Until I learned from me searching for who I was finding who I was. I started reading and I started searching and I started reading the Bible and I started self-help books. I went out of my way. And guess what? I found myself, not because I found myself, it's because the Creator found me. And by finding me, I found Him. That gave me the strength, that gave me the power, that gave me the anointing. You know why? Because it is written. Let us make Maria, let us make Olga, Roger, Sarah, let us make men in our image and our likeness, and let them have dominion over all the earth. Because you're going to get jackals. they're gonna laugh. You're gonna get hyena, they're gonna laugh. You're gonna get people that don't give a damn about you, don't care about you, and the saddest thing is people that is in your own family. How many of you believe this? So this message is for you. Like always. Somebody said, one of the sisters goes, are you ready? I'm seeing you this Friday at 7 o'clock. I think she said, are you okay? She's here. And I said, let me tell you this. I done a lot of crying. I felt like a zombie because it's not easy when your mother is dying and then she leaves. It's part of life. But I'm more anointed, I'm more powerful, and let me tell you, no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, because he has sent me here for a purpose, and that purpose is to help you. To bring the word in season and out of season. Hallelujah.
And be careful who you entertain.
And be careful, like my husband says, who you entertain, because he sends us to this world as messengers to help others. Just like the two angels that went in Sodom and Gomorrah. There were two men, but they weren't men, they were angels. For a reason, for a season, and for a purpose. And what was the purpose that they were sent to Sodom and Gomorrah? To rescue Lot and his family. And what happened to all the men when they saw these giants, beautiful, handsome men? They wanted to have sex with them because they only saw them as men, not knowing that they were angels. So don't think that you are alone. And what happened? He says, the angel said to Lot, get your stuff, forget about it, don't look back, because we're coming and we're going to destroy this, and we're going to bring sulfur and fire. You have no idea. We need to be very careful, because sometimes we don't even know who are we entertaining. Right now, this is for you. Just because you see somebody that looks like a human being, that doesn't mean that person's a human being. It's an angel. And not an angel second class.
Amen.
It's not an angel second class. It's an elite capitan. It's a captain that is sent your way, which these are called guardian angels. That you see them and you see them as normal people. But they're there to bring you the truth, to bring you the word, to protect you. Because he says it in his word, I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will be with you when you go through the waters. You're not going to drown. I will be with you when there's fire. It's not even going to cinch you. And no weapon, no matter who has risen against you, no matter who has spoken against you, no matter what witchcraft, no matter in the relationship that says that you're so ugly, you wear your mother Canterbury boots, it's not going to prosper. And some of you haven't even gone. You're still alive because your purpose has not been fulfilled yet. And you keep on crying and you don't understand. And I can't stand my mother. I can't stand my sisters. And I can't stand my daughter. And I can't stand this. And I can't stand that. He's telling you, let it go. Set boundaries. Only when you believe deep down in yourself that is enough, we can say enough. This is why we need to set boundaries. Look at what it says. Do you remember in the book of Job? See, boundaries is for your own good. You need to put a sign in your house, including maybe you can wear a ding-a-ling here or whatever. A bling bling, saying no trespassing. This means you. And whoever it is that you're thinking about right now, that's the person that should not be in your life. Because look at what it says in the book of Job, talking about trespassing. In the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 8.
Amen.
Now, this is a conversation between the Creator and the enemy. And the Creator said to the enemy, have you considered, verse 8, have you considered my servant Job? See, that there's none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth Elohim and shuns evil. Now, he says, have you considered my servant Job? Job chapter 1, verse number 8. When he says, have you considered my servant Job, it's talking about a man that every day got on his knees and served the Creator. The book of Job chapter 1, verse 8. He says, have you considered him? You know what that means? When you have a relationship with your Maker daily, He will put a hedge of protection around your home, around your mind, around your heart, around your soul, around your body. Because the enemy is going to and from the earth seeking who he may devour. And let me tell you who your enemy are. It's your family. Biblically speaking, Yeshua says your own family, your own enemy will be in your own household. And look at what he said. Look at what the enemy said to the Creator. Verse number 9. Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, does Job really fear you for nothing? Verse 10. Have you not put a hedge of protection about him and about his house and about all that he has in every side? You have blessed him with the works of his hands, and his substance increased in the land. But look at what he says. Now, what is this hedge of protection? So, the angels. The hedge of protection, it is a fence of angels. I will send my angels to protect you. They are going to lift you up, and you are not going to fall down. The hedge of protection is a divine protection. Now look at what the enemy is telling the Creator. On verse 11. But put forth thy hand and touch everything that he has, and he will curse you in your face. All of us have people that have hurt us. Those who are hurtful, frustrating, offensive, manipulative people in our lives. Does this sound like you?
Oh,
Not that you're doing this, because this message is really for you to protect yourself and put boundaries in your life. No matter how hard we try to surround ourselves with positive and kind people, there will always be those who will disrespect, insult, berate, and misuse you if we allow them to do. What is it that you deserve?
Are you asking us?
Excuse me?
Are you asking us?
You can answer. What is it that you deserve?
Love.
You deserve love. Okay, what else do you deserve?
Peace.
You deserve peace. And what else do you deserve?
happiness.
Happiness.
Joy.
Respect.
Joy. Respect. Respect. That's a good one.
Okay, what is that? Joy?
She said respect.
That's the word I wanted to hear.
Ooh, Sarah.
She said it.
You said
We all, no. We don't deserve love. We want love, but we deserve respect. That's the word and the answer I wanted to get. Respect. Because if you do not respect yourself, you cannot expect for others to respect you. You need to so respect is a boundary. Respect is a hedge of protection. Let me tell you, number one, you deserve respect. Yes or no?
Yes.
These are also what you deserve. This is your birthright here on this earth. You have the right to ask what you want. You have the right to say no to requests that demands that you cannot meet. You have the right to change your mind. You have the right to make mistakes and not have to be perfect. You have the right to follow your own values and standards. You have the right to express all of your feelings, both positive and negative. You have the right to say no to anything when you feel that you are not ready, it is unsafe, or it violates your values. You have the right to determine your own policies. You have the rights you have the right not to be responsible for others' behaviors, actions, feelings, or problems. Let me say that again. You have the right not to be responsible for others' behavior, actions, feelings, or problems. You have the right to expect honesty from others. You have the right to be angry. You have the right to be uniquely yourself. You have the right to feel scared and say, I'm afraid at times. You have the right to say, I don't know. You have the right not to give excuses or reason for your behavior. You have the right to make decisions based on your feelings. You have the right to your own needs and personal space and time. You have the right to be playful and frivolous. You have the right to be healthy. You have the right to be in a oh my God, abusive environment. You have the right to make friends and be comfortable around people. You have the right to change and grow. You have the right to have your needs and wants respected by others. You have the right to be treated with dignity and respect. And this is the last one. You have the right to be happy. And if somebody is not bringing you, is not making you happy, start putting a boundary, a hedge of protection, a fence, a wall. We may, for a variety of reasons, not be able to avoid them. This is my mother, this is my daughter, this is my children, this is this, this is that, la 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 la. But we can determine how we react with them and how we allow them to interact with us.
Can you say that again?
We may, for a variety of reasons, not been able, maybe we cannot avoid them. Certain, like mother, sister, brother, co-workers, whatever. But we can determine how we interact with them and how we allow them to interact with us. Don't you all agree with me?
We can determine how they interact with us?
Yes.
And what else did you say?
And how we allow them to interact with us. For as long as I personally can remember, I have always dreamed of having the ability to help people change virtually anything in their lives. I have realized that to be able to help others change, I have to be able to change myself and set boundaries. Because I cannot speak in what I don't operate. And today I'm speaking of what I have put in my life, boundaries. That means that when you put boundaries, you are honoring yourself. You are respecting yourself. And you are saying to others, this is as far as I go. I am going to take a pencil. I am going to put a line. And you cannot cross the line because you're crossing dangerous zone. Just like a bear when he is hibernating in a cave. Would you go in there?
No.
Even though he's sleeping?
Nope.
Don't you dare, because if he wakes up, you're stepping on wrong territory. So when you put boundaries in your life, you're saying you're stepping in the wrong territory. I demand respect, and if you cannot give it to me, then I don't want you in my life. There's a fine line. Where does the Bible talk about? Where does the Bible talk about boundaries? Oh, let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. The boundaries in the Exodus chapter 23, verse 31. Exodus. Now, it's amazing because, see, what a lot of people don't understand, that every answer is in the Bible. Now, what are we going to read here? What do you mean boundaries? There's no boundaries. Yes, there is. The Red Sea. Yeah. The Red Sea represents boundaries. Okay? In Exodus chapter 23, verse number 31, it is written, and I will set thy bounds. Now, this is the King James. Thy bounds means the boundary mark.
Yep.
Boundary mark means this is the hedge of protection. We, Israel, is going to be on the other side, and Pharaoh and Egypt is going to be on the other. And I said that thy bonds, the boundary mark, from the Red Sea even unto the seat of the Philistine, and from the desert unto the river, for I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them before thee. And look at verse 32. And you shall not make no covenants with them nor their God. See, when we allow people to be in our lives that is hurting us, and they don't respect us, we are really making covenant with them. See, they don't come in agreement with us because they don't give a damn about us. But we decide, because we are the Good Samaritan kind of deal, that we begin to do covenant with them.
Yeah, for the Good Samaritan.
I want you to see me who I am. I'm so nice because I'm the Good Samaritan. And they look at you, they really spit on your face. If you're a man, they'll probably pull your beard. And they really don't give a damn. And let me tell you this, it's because of jealousy and envy. He says, and if you do this, you're going to make a covenant with them. And look at what it says on verse 32. Thou shalt make no covenant with them nor their gods. What does that mean? That they don't believe what you believe in. And that's okay, because you need respect. Everybody believes in whatever they want to believe. You want to believe in the leaves that is coming down and that's a God? Well, that's your problem. I respect you. Thank you so much. You want to believe that the squirrel is, whatever. You need to respect. Yeshua respected everybody. Yeshua never condemned anybody. So why should you and I? And why should anybody condemn you? Because you don't speak like them. You don't believe like them. Because maybe you don't wear the same color of hair as them. Maybe because you're not in the groupie kind of deal. You need respect. And do you know when that Rodney Dangerfield, the actor, said, I get no respect. Well, how the hell can you get no respect when you never give any? How can you get respect when you don't give any? You need to get respect. You need to earn respect. How do you do that? You need to give it. And then if you give it and they don't give it, then it's time for you to say goodbye to my family. Hello, goodbye. And look at what happened. Verse 33, and they shall not dwell in the land, lest make you sin against me. For if you serve their gods, it will surely be a trap unto you. What is their gods? Anything they believe in, even money, even in themselves. And then they'll make you worship them. Because let me tell you, just like when you get sick, and you know what? And when you get next to somebody that has a really bad flu, you will catch it because it's airborne. So what they have is airborne. You become who you hang around with.
So true.
And then you'll be looking at them like they're some kind of God. And in reality, they're just a little mouse. But when you take control of your life, when you start putting boundaries, when you start respecting yourself, respecting your belief, respecting yourself, let me tell you who is going to be scared of who. And haven't you noticed, especially believers, when they say, well, Jesus never did it like that. What would Jesus do? Well, number one, I'm not Jesus. I'm not Yeshua. I'm not God. I'm not Yahweh. I am made in His image and His likeness. And let me tell you this, it's called respect. Respect. And this is what a lot of people don't have anymore. We need to learn what happened in 9/11. You didn't care what religion you belonged to. You didn't care if you were paparazzi. If you didn't care who you were, everybody was helping each other, even bringing food and blankets and a bunch of stuff. Praying. We need to go back and we need to learn from that. We need to become more civilized, because what's happening is we're becoming more like wild beasts. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? How many times do you have to say out to a person that you love and you care for, that really doesn't respect you, to really look at you and says, look at me. This is not what I meant to tell you. This is not what you're saying is not true. How many times, how many years do you really have to put it in different signs? And they still don't want to hear you. What do you think you need to do? Let them go. Let them go. What are you holding to? The day you leave this world, they are not going with you. see none of her daughters leave with her. I didn't see her house. She didn't take her house with her. She didn't take her money with her. As a matter of fact, she didn't even take the parakeet. The parakeet, Lola. That's her name, Lola. She had a parakeet. She would talk to Lola every day. Well, Lola is still eating the seeds and rice and all that stuff. And you know what? Mom is gone. Let it go. Life is very short to do anything but be happy.
Yep.
Listen very carefully. I don't know what happened here. I think I don't want you to go there, but in Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 14, it says, you shall not move your neighbor's boundary mark, which the ancestors have set in your inheritance, which you will inherit in the land that Yahweh your Elohim gives you to possess. He has given you a gift. And if you don't put boundaries, a hedge of protection around yourself, that gift is going to be stolen from you. And what is that gift? It's the gift of love. It's the gift of peace. It's the gift to love your maker with all your heart, with all your strength, with every power that you have in your soul. And to love others as you love yourself. When you do this, everything else that you desire, everything that you want, it comes automatic. And no matter how much you are trying to prove to this person that you love them, and what they're doing is they are rejecting you, they are condemning you, they are criticizing you, let it go and wish them well. I release you with love. Cursed is he who moves his neighbor's boundary mark. And all the people say amen. When we fail to set boundaries and hold people accountable, we feel used and mistreated. This is why we sometimes attack who they are, which is far more hurtful than addressing a behavior or a choice. Why is setting boundaries so important? Personal boundaries are what defines your identity. They are like property lines around a home. This is my property, and this is not my, this is me, my property, and that is not, and I'm sorry, this is me, what I value, what I am good at, what I believe, what I need, or I feel, and that is what it means to me. To know yourself is to be secure that you are loved and essential to all relationship and activities. The better your boundaries of self-awareness and self-definition are, the greater your capacity to offer empathy and love to others. What are boundaries? Boundaries is very simple. They are firm lines determined by you, which cannot be crossed by those around you who hurt you, or whoever it is that you don't want them to cross. They are guidelines for you how you will allow others to treat you and what kind of behavior you will expect from them. Healthy personal boundaries help protect you from physical and emotional pain. You also need to set firm boundaries at work to ensure you and your time are not disrespected. when you have employees or coworkers that don't respect you, it's because you need to set boundaries. They are disrespecting you. Don't allow others to take advantage of your kindness and your generosity. We are just guest travelers in this world. Don't let the magnitude of the circumstances blind you to the value of life. Do not be upset with people or situations. Both are powerless without your reaction. And the worst thing you can do to anybody is ignore them. It's not fight with them. It's not scream at them. Ignore them. Because when you ignore somebody, they don't know what you're thinking. And now you got the upper hand. Don't expect to understand everything that is happening in your life. Just leave it to your Creator. Keep your faith. Don't give up now. Good fortune is closer than you think. Do you all agree with this? What you need to do is to awaken the potential that is inside of you. Do you know what the word potential means? Potent. It is the word potent. It means strong, strength. You'll be more powerful than a gorilla. More powerful than Godzilla. You have a potency, a power that nobody can stop when you believe in yourself. Look at your life right now. Are you fully in control of your life? If your answer is no, then you need to set boundaries. If you said yes, then stay the way you are. And don't allow those people to hurt you anymore. I thought at one time that it wasn't nice to say no. And I used to say yes all the time. You know what that got me? Nowhere. Frustrated, very tired, overworked, underpaid. Nobody care. Because the more you give, the more they want. And when you stop giving, now they don't want you. Clear boundaries, communicate to others that you demand respect and consideration, that you are willing to stand up for yourself, and that you will not be a doormat for anyone anymore. They are no longer trespassing sign that makes it very clear when a line has been crossed, and that we will be consequence for doing this. They will have consequence for crossing the line. Listen very carefully, because boundaries and fences are not set with the intention to change any other person. They may change the people to interact with you, but boundaries are more about enforcing your needs than attempting to change the general behavior and attitude of others. That's what boundaries are. You are putting the fine line. I will not take your stinking attitude. I will not allow you to speak to me like that ever again. I will not allow you to belittle me anymore. And if you cannot respect me the way I deserve, then I don't want you in my life. Before you set boundaries with others, you first need to understand what your needs are. You are entitled to respect. You have the right to protect yourself and from inappropriate and offensive behavior. And when you set boundaries, it's a way of honoring your needs. In order to set appropriate boundaries, you need to be clear about what is healthy behaviors look like. What do they look like? What healthy relationship look like? You first have to become more aware of your feelings and honest with yourself about your expectation and what you feel is inappropriate behavior. Number one, these are questions. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Is it in your family? Is it for your mind? Is it for your heart? Is it in your relationship? Where do you need this? Number two, when do you feel disrespected? 3, when do you feel violated, frustrated, angered by the behavior of others? 4, in what situation do you feel you are being mistreated and taken advantage of? Number 5, when do you want to be alone? Number 6, and this is the last one, how much space do you need? How far are you going to put the hedge of protection? How far is your boundary? When you put a fence around your house, how far from your house do you put that fence? Close to your house or really away from the house? You need to honor your own needs and boundaries before you can expect others to honor them. Number 2, clear communication is essential. Inform others in a clear and direct manner what your expectations are. Explain in the honest and respectful tone what you find offenses and inappropriate. Many people simply are not aware that they are behaving in an appropriate way towards you. They may never have been taught proper manners or consideration for others. And whoever it is that you're thinking of right now, that's the person that you need to put a hedge of protection around your house and your body and yourself. Number 3, be specific, but don't blame. Taking a blaming or punishing attitude automatically puts people on the defensive. People will not listen when they feel attacked. It's part of the human nature. That said, you do not need to over-explain yourself and defend yourself. Boundaries are not open to compromise. You don't compromise boundaries. Sample of language. This is an example of your language when you're going to set boundaries. You may not yell or raise your voice at me. I need to be treated with respect. It's not okay when you take things from my desk without asking. I won't do your work or cover for you anymore. It's not acceptable when you ridicule me and insult me. I will not take this. I am uncomfortable when you use offensive language. And the last one, I will no longer be able to lend you money. I'm almost done. 4, consequences are often necessities. Determine what the appropriate consequences will be when boundaries are crossed. If this person crosses the line that I set, there's going to be a consequence. It is if it's appropriate, Be clear about these consequences upfront when communicating those boundaries to others. Follow through. People do not respect your boundaries if you don't enforce them. How can people not walk into your property when you haven't put a fence, a protection? How can people respect you when you haven't set boundaries for your life and what you believe in? Standing our ground, enforcing consequences doesn't come easily to any of us. We want to be nice. We want to be the Good Samaritan. Okay? We want people to like us, but we shouldn't have to trade our self-respect to gain friends or to achieve success. We may be tempted to let minor disrespect slide in order to avoid conflict, because nobody likes conflict, even though some people don't like conflicts, and that's the way they live. But as familiar saying goes, if you give people an inch, what do they take?
2.
They take a mile. And after you give a mile, they take 100 miles. And when you give 100 miles, they want to take the whole world. It is much easier to address offensive or inappropriate behavior now than to wait until the behavior has gotten completely out of hand, just like cancer completely in a body. It is also important to remember that positive reinforcement is even more powerful than negative consequence. When people do alter the way they treat you, acknowledge it. Let people know that you notice and appreciate their actions or their efforts. Final thoughts. To finish, respect is always a valid reason for setting boundaries. When you set a respect to yourself, that automatically you're setting a boundary in your life. Don't defend yourself or your needs. Boundaries are often necessary to protect your time, your space, and your feelings. Start with the easiest boundary first. Setting boundaries is a skill that needs to be practiced. Enlist support from others if necessary. Inform people immediately when they are crossed the line. Don't wait. Communicate in a polite and direct manner. Be clear about consequences and follow them through. The better you become in setting your own boundaries, the better you become at recognizing and respecting the boundaries of others. Remember that establishing boundaries is your right. You were born into this world with an inheritance of respect. To have boundaries, what you allow and what you do not allow in your life. You are entitled to respect. You cannot control how other people behave, but you do have control over the way you allow people to treat you. Let me say that again. You cannot control how people behave, but you do have control over the way you allow people to treat you. Learning to set boundaries is not always easy, but with time, it will become more comfortable. You may eventually find that boundaries become automatic and you no longer need to consciously set them. They will simply become a natural extension of your self-respect. Don't worry. Be happy. remember, your situation will also pass. Even though you don't understand why this is happening in your life right now, and you begin to ask the question, why? Learn from this experience that you're going through to help you mature to be a better man or a better woman. Until next time, thank you from First Yahudin Messianic Temple. Shavuot Tov.